What is going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer of Blue and Gold out here at Trinity University. Just wrapped up practice number 3 for the All-American Bowl here in San Antonio, Texas. We have 4 Notre Dame signees playing in this game. For the East team, you have Kyngstonn Young and Bryce Young, no relation. Kyngstonn Young, the running back from Texas, and Bryce Young, of course, the impressive pass rusher from Charlotte, the son of former Notre Dame defensive lineman and NFL Hall of Famer Bryce Young. Over on the West team, you have Cam Williams, the On3 industry ranking 5-star wide receiver and linebacker. Kyngstonn Viliamu-Asa from California. So 4 Notre Dame guys. We've been able to see them all this week, and it was more of a hotter start to begin the week in terms of the activity level. Practice 3 here for the East squad that we just got to watch was a little bit more of a walkthrough. So for this video today, wanted to bring in On3 national scout Cody Belair. Worked at places like LSU, Texas A&M, and most recently Texas Tech before joining the On3 network. So I just wanted to go through each of the 4 Notre Dame signees. Let's actually start with the West team and go with the guy who I think's probably had the best week of the Notre Dame guys, and that's Kyngstonn Viliamu-Asa, someone who On3 does rank lowest of the 4 major media outlets, but it does seem like his stock is definitely up because he's really looked good this week.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's one of those deals where, yes, do we have him ranked lower among the 4 services right now currently? Absolutely. However, there were some questions that we needed to get answered, and I think Kyngston's done more than enough to sort of answer those questions for us. And a lot of it has to do with running sideline to sideline, about his trigger, in comparison to other extremely talented players across the country. I think he's done more than enough to show that he has the ability to diagnose, process, and trigger as good as anybody out here. And he's honestly been extremely impressive in a setting where we sort of knew in between the hashes, he's always going to be dominant.
Right.
And out here, no pads, with pads, he's been violent, he's been fast, he's been beating offensive linemen to their spots, and to be honest, he's probably been the most impressive linebacker we've seen out.
And then Cam Williams, the one who probably came here with the most hype, just in terms of him being highly ranked across the board from all the websites. But in street clothes at the end of practice yesterday, don't believe he practiced today. He's okay, guys. He's going to be fine. But so we haven't seen a ton of Cam Williams in action, but we did get to see him a little bit running around. So just curious, what you thought of the body type, just kind of the movement skills and all that.
Yeah, and Cam Williams is an extremely impressive athlete, right? So these first couple days when we saw him run around, you look at him compared to some of these other wide receivers out here, he still looks the part, right? And he still moves like a top-tier prospect should move. And it was one of those deals where we were able to see him in routes on air. We didn't get to see him in a ton in competitive setting, in one-on-ones or team period or anything like that. However, in the routes on air portion, when you're watching these guys move around and you're able to see how natural they track the football, how natural they pluck the football, how natural it is in terms of using their hands to catch the ball away from their frame, you still saw some good things from Cam Williams. Is it unfortunate that we didn't get to see him compete against some of these top prospects, especially in a one-on-one setting? Absolutely. But he still looked the part from a physical standpoint, and he was able to show that he has a natural skill set as a receiver.
And speaking of looking the part physically, Kyngstonn Young is impressive. The Notre Dame running back signee out of Lufkin, Texas. We got to see him out there today. We've seen him a good bit all week. He's looked good.
Yeah, and this is a setting too, I will say, in these all-star games where the running back and linebacker positions, it's a little tougher to stand out just because a lot of what they're asked to do isn't necessarily
what they do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so with Kyngstonn, it's about physically, movement skills, how well does he track the football, how comfortable is he working in space and being able to handle passes and pass pro and wiggle between the tackles, which is stuff that Kyngstonn excels in.
Yeah.
And so it's more of stamping and really putting it in Sharpie as opposed to pencil, the stuff that he's shown on tape, and you were able to see it in person. And what's a good-looking group of running backs, he still stood out.
And then someone who On3 has been very high on, really since you guys started ranking the 2024 class, was Bryce Young.
Yep.
And it doesn't seem like you guys are down on him this week. It's definitely the opposite. So, just curious what you've thought about Bryce Young. Is definitely more of one of the more intriguing prospects overall in this cycle.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I mean, when you look at the defensive line group, he stands out. and in a good way, right? Like there's players out here like LJ McCray, who's one of our 5-star signees that signed with Florida, and he looks like $1 million. Bryce Young standing right next to him.
Yeah.
They're very comparable. Now, from a physical standpoint, Bryce does stand out, right? The frame's there. Does he need a little bit of growth in his lower half? Sure, but that's something his frame should be able to carry, no problem. The biggest thing that stood out to me when you're talking Bryce Young, the movement skills. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, they are very, very good. Like, it was very impressive. I mean, they're going through bag drills, right? And I think this is one of the better settings for D linemen because you do get to watch them in one-on-ones. You do get to watch them move around, do bag drills, bend, dip. You see the hip flexibility. Bryce Young looks like, I mean, I'm not going to speculate on where we're going to slide him up or down, but he has done a very, very good job.
Yeah, so that's wrapping up the 4 Notre Dame signees in this game. Gerby Lambert had a minor injury at the end of his senior season, so I know you were very excited to get to see him. And honestly, of the group, I was most excited to see Gerby, and it's a really good group. Like in years past, we've had double-digit Notre Dame guys in this game. It was only going to be 5 this year, but it was like really a quality over quantity thing. And then CJ Carr was invited to this game, but he enrolled at Notre Dame, or participated in Notre Dame's bowl practices, so we kind of chose that over being here. So that is going to wrap up this video. Of course, folks, hit the thumbs up on it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. Go to blueandgold.com for much more coverage of Notre Dame Fighting Irish football. That's Cody Belair. I'm Mike Singer. Appreciate you all, and we'll catch you next time.